Avoir. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of FitPet Boston Talks. My name is Leah Lodato, and I am the host of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do really appreciate it that you take the time to listen to us go on and on about dogs and other related material. Today, I am joined by my spouse, Laurie.
Hello.
And our good friend, Carole Federa, is back.
Hello.
We are super excited to have Carole back to talk about what's been going on with her dog, Maple. If you missed the previous episode with Carole, do yourself a huge favor and go back and listen to that so that you have a little bit more context to our conversation today. If you're brand new to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. Historically, this podcast has interviewed local Boston area dog handling professionals, and we chit-chat about our lives, dogs, and careers. If I'm not doing that with somebody that I don't know so well, Laurie and I sit down and do deep dives on specific dog training and handling topics, or we just talk about what's been going on, and everybody seems to enjoy that quite a bit. So thank you for listening. And if you like what you hear, feel free to like, subscribe, and share the podcast with your friends. That's how more people get to know us and get to know the show. And yeah, that's about all I have to say by way of introduction. Laurie, how was your day today?
Busy.
Yeah, mine too. Anything notable?
I wouldn't say so. I just had a lot of dogs. 17.
Whoa.
Seemed like a lot.
Yeah.
Felt like a lot. The weather's really nice though, so my spirits are higher.
Yes.
Had a puppy class. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day.
No.
That was the theme of that class.
Mm-hmm.
So that the mother didn't jump off a cliff. You have a puppy. Puppies are a ton of work.
They are. They are. I know. It's been a while since we've had a puppy like of our own, and I was looking back at videos of Raven that I took that I don't even remember taking, and I think I completely blacked out the entire time she was a puppy.
Well, it's trauma.
I just can't remember. I can't remember what happened, and maybe that's our own like biological clock.
I couldn't make this dog mom even like laugh. A smile.
You couldn't make somebody laugh?
Nothing.
Ooh, that's a tough nut.
Nothing. It's like licking a razor blade. The whole class, I was like, oh, I'm not making her happy. This is terrible.
Well, some people have different personalities. You know, sometimes I'm like, oh, this person doesn't like me very much. And then they really do. It's just that they're not like us. You know what I mean, Carole?
I do. I do.
We wear our emotions on our face.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. This is wonderful.
Or our hands.
I know. So, you'll know because you'll hear the mic fall over. Like, you'll hear us knock the mic.
All right. Carole, can you just summarize a little bit? I know you went into great detail the last time you were here, but can you summarize a little bit about your dog and how you kind of got to know us in maybe not so many words, just to give a little context?
Sure. I have a 2 3/4-year-old pit bull. She was originally my daughter's dog, but my daughter works all day long and goes to school. So, of course, I got stuck taking care of her, which I love her. But she needed training because I have grandchildren, and that's when I instantly thought of Laurie. She is my cousin. And so we trained her that way, and then I realized she needed to be free because I have a lot of land and stuff, but I wanted her to be able to roam. So then Leah helped me train her for e-collar. So she has e-collar training, which lately she doesn't really even need it. Even if it's on her, her recall and stuff for that is really good. Or if she doesn't have it on and she's roaming around, I just say her name and she comes running back to me. So she's maturing. Mm-hmm. She's maturing. She's had some incidents in the last 4 or 5 months of sickness, things that have happened to her. But she's a good dog.
Yeah, she is a good dog. So I want to talk about nutrition.
Yes.
Because that's something that you have been experimenting a little bit with, just changing up her diet. But can you talk a little bit first about these incidents and accidents that she has been getting herself into? Yeah. Because they are some interesting things, and I think for the listener it would be helpful.
Yeah, so about about 6 months, she had this weird limp in her right paw. And it didn't stop her from doing anything. It's just the harder she played, the worse the limp would get. She went to the vet. They x-rayed her, and they didn't find anything the matter with her paws. They didn't find anything the matter with her bones. Everything was the same on both sides. They didn't know what it was, so they sent me to a specialist. They gave her a CAT scan, and they found bone fragments in, I guess it would be her elbow, up the top. So what they think might have happened was probably from me throwing the ball, her jumping up in the air to get it, coming down. She hurt herself somehow from that. Nothing was broken, but the fragments were in there. So she had to have surgery to have the bone fragments removed, and she was in a collar. I don't know. It's about 3.5 weeks she had to wear a collar. There was, for 6 weeks, there was nothing she could do. She went out on a leash, she peed, she came in the house. That was for 6 weeks. And that was really hard for her because she's an active dog. But she did it. We did it. I would have to yell at people because they'd be like, let's go play with them. Like, you can't, you know. She went back. Everything was great. And then
She went back and got another scan?
they did not give another scan because they took out all the bone fragments and stuff. So
Nothing to look at.
the surgeon thinks that everything was fine. She did have a little limp after that, but he thinks it was all just healing with inflammation, and giving her the right food or vitamins would help that. And it did. She doesn't have a limp. Sometimes she has a little head bob, but I just think that's her. There's no limp. She had 1 week free of being able to go on walks and be a normal dog. And I came home one day.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Because Shauna described her experience, and then I knew about Shauna's experience before we did the podcast last week, and then that's how I was able to help you. Yeah. So if somebody's looking at their dog, I know that after activity, she would be limping. Was she holding her paw up? This way any other parent can know, to look for, what's going on.
So with this, she did not hold her paw up. She just would limp more. So you would literally see on her right side, she would lean like the way she was walking. Okay. But she never held her paw up. And I think maybe because it was, up in that elbow part. But with her, she just didn't stop. It didn't matter. She would play hard. She would rest. If she went back out to play, she would do it again. But the more she did it, the more she was limping. And that's why I was like, there's something not right. And it took us a while to find out. It took us almost a month to find out what was the matter with her.
Mm-hmm. Which is, it just piggybacks so well off of what Shauna was saying. She was here a couple days ago and talking about her dogs, and she had the exact same issue with her male dog. And so that gave Laurie the wherewithal to recommend that you ask your vet about the bone fragments in the elbow. And then sure enough,
that's when she said, I'll send you to the specialist because I don't see it. But they only x-rayed. They didn't do a CAT scan from the vet. They did the x-ray. But when they did the CAT scan, even the surgeon, he's like, I don't really see things on the CAT scan, but I do see inflammation. I see a little space. Do you want me to wait? I'm like, she's asleep. I don't want to keep putting this dog to sleep. And he goes, we'll go in with the scope. If we don't see anything, it's done. But if we go in with the scope and see something, we clean it out and it's done. And as soon as they went in with the scope, they saw it. Yeah. And then they cleaned her out and she was fine.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty cool. So it was very contingent on your concern and almost recommendation that they did it.
Because it had to be something for her. It wasn't normal for her to be limping and dragging her. She wasn't dragging it, but it would slow her down if she got tired. So that's when because he said, we can just, the CAT scan, she's asleep. We can either do this or we can do that. I'm like, I don't want to have to put her to sleep again in 2 or 3 weeks if it gets worse. I'd rather you just go and look. And if it's there, then you do what you have to do to fix it. And it was there, and they fixed it.
Wow. And so Full recovery.
Full recovery on that. Full recovery.
And then what happened?
And then, so she had 1 week of, after her 6 weeks of not being able to do anything, she had 1 week where she was able to do whatever. She went back to being a normal dog and going out on her long walks with me. And I didn't take her into the woods yet, just walking on her leash, because I didn't want to take any chances with her bopping through something and twisting. She didn't get to play with the dog next door at all. And so I came home one night. I went to feed her. I fed her. She got up. She started playing with my dad, who was sitting on the couch. I was sitting at a counter opening mail. And as I was opening the mail, she ran by me. And when she ran by me, something caught the corner of my eye. And I looked down.
Oh, no.
And there was blood everywhere. When I tell you, everywhere. I instantly called Laurie. Oh my God, she's bleeding. I don't know. She's bleeding everywhere. Please, what do I do? And now I'm FaceTime and she's like, oh my, there's something. So we
just the FaceTime, I was gonna throw up. Like it was all. I was looking at the ceiling. I was hearing screaming. There were feet. Paws.
I have dealt with people that, working in nursing homes and in hospitals back in the day, that blood didn't even faze me. Oh, don't worry, we'll help you. No, I was panic stricken because it went from one length of my house to the other, and I have cream tiles. It was covered.
I have cream tiles.
It was covered everywhere. And my husband was sitting there. I'm going, God! He goes, what? She's bleeding. He goes, okay, what do you want me to do? I'm like,
oh my God.
So my father jumped up. He's trying to help me. We're getting rags. I'm trying to dry it so Laurie could see it. She goes, oh no, she split that paw. You need to take her to the hospital. Just go. So me and my dad, I said to my husband, honey, you have to clean this or come with me. Oh, I'll clean it. He had the bleach out. I go to the hospital. My poor father sat in the back with her into my car. And when I opened the door, my car was covered in blood. My father was covered in blood.
God. You guys must have looked like something
We walked
else.
in the reception. Oh, we got a room for you. He was covered. The poor man was covered. We sat there. And sure enough, she split her paw completely open. She ripped off a nail. She did it in the house playing with my dad. She came down on something and it just slit her.
What was it?
So it was a hassock and it had a metal rim around it.
Oh, what?
A hassock.
What's that?
Like you put your feet up.
Okay, like an ottoman?
Yeah, and like an ornament. Because I'm older,
What
so
kind
maybe
of fancy people are you?
it was cream and it had a gold rim around it. And the thing is the week before, two of my grandchildren were playing with it and they were playing tug of war, and one of them let go and the other one got it and it cut her in the face.
I mean,
and
you couldn't have got rid of it after that.
Okay, Christina.
That's her daughter.
So my daughter, so of course I had to find out because the vet needed to know because of rabies and all this stuff like that. I had to come back. I watched it on camera. I saw it happen. And, I said to them, I was telling my kids and my daughter goes, oh, it takes the dog to get cut by it for you to throw it away. But my granddaughter has a cut on her face and we kept it. I said, well, I didn't realize it was that dangerous.
Yeah.
So
That piece of furniture, I mean.
Yeah. So then that was another almost 5 weeks. It took a long time for that to heal. I actually called Laurie. I said, Laurie, is there any medicine or anything I can put on this? Because, the stitches started separating, but it was still stitched inside. So I literally have the largest first aid kit for dogs that you probably have ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay? My brother and his wife were just here from California, and I whipped something out, and my sister-in-law was like, where did all this stuff come from? I went, please, I need it all for her. I have to have it because one never knows with this dog. I had another dog. He lived 19 years. Nothing ever happened to him. Never. This was only 2.5. And she's putting me through the mill.
She's accident prone.
She really is.
Remember when she got stung and her whole face blew up?
Like by
Thought
the
it was
bees
going to explode.
everywhere.
Well, and then somewhere in the middle there,
Twice.
she got a bout of diarrhea that almost killed her.
Yes, and that's when I said. Then I see. I have my people I need to text. Laurie is if it's something like that, medical or something behavior. I call Leah for the things that for nutrition, and if she's not listening to me with that little beeper, it's with the beeper. So I am very lucky to have the both of you girls because this is not an easy task. This dog, and she had bad diarrhea, and that was from the medicine.
Yeah.
All those medicines she was on. But what you told me to do with the chicken and stuff, it helped her and it went away. She had to be on, I had to take it to the vet for that.
Oh, you did?
Yes, remember? Because it was blood.
Yes, I do remember that now.
And so I end up taking it to the vet, and sure enough, they put her on, they gave her a shot of something and gave her something else. And I'm like, but she's on all these medicines that are making her have this. No, this one will help.
They gave her Serenia, I bet.
Yeah, I don't remember. They gave her a shot, and then she had to take something for 5 days. Yeah, so she has met her quota for vet visits.
Do you have insurance?
I do not.
Oh, brutal.
I did not. Listen, I told you, 19 years I had another dog. Nothing was ever the matter with him. Ever.
Yeah.
Should have saved the money on that ottoman. Put it on
Facebook Marketplace.
It went in the trash.
It went in the trash.
And I was sad to get rid of it because it was so nice. It was suede.
Oh,
Oh well.
Yeah.
So that was that.
what are we talking money-wise?
Okay, you really want
If
to
you
know.
don't mind,
Okay.
just...
So for the elbow chips, it was $12,600.
Okay. That's the whole...
That was just for that. For the paw cut, it was $2,800.
chump change.
Yeah,
Next to the
that was nothing.
12,000.
And then going back and forth for the visit with the diarrhea and stuff. That was just the normal vet visit of whatever, $180 with the medicine stuff. But my husband has cut us off for the year, so we are done. We are done. Yeah, we're done. She's done. So hopefully she doesn't get sick. I don't even want her playing with the dog next door because I'm afraid something will happen to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's been walking. He's been going on her walks the last 2 weeks, and she loves it.
Yeah.
She's just not been free to go in the woods yet.
I said it on the previous episode, but even when we took her on a hike, it was her first time being free. I have gone on thousands of hikes now. If I did the math, thousands. I've never had a dog come back in that type of shape.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was just anything that she could have gotten into, she got into it, and she was just a rashy mess. And I think that she is, I mean, we'll talk about this too, but she has allergies anyway, and different environmental things probably make, her skin look worse than it is maybe. But she just is a very active little dog. And she she loves having fun.
Yep, she does.
She loves chasing things. She's just got a lot of energy.
Yep.
Sweet as could be.
Yep, she's a good girl.
Yeah, she's sweet.
She loves people, loves them.
Yeah, and she gets along with your neighbor's dog, which is cool.
Yep.
And she's a really nice dog, but I have felt bad for you over the past few months with these accidents that keep happening.
I felt terrible when you called me that day. Like I was trying
she
to
called
calm.
me and she's like, Carole I think I'm going to have to go up there. And I'm like, okay. And then Laurie said, I'm not going to go because they're on their way to emergency.
Yep.
So they'll get what they need. I said, okay, well, just leave your phone on just in case.
Yeah.
And that's good that they took, I think when they see blood,
Yeah, well,
they
I
just
called ahead.
immediately start helping.
Yeah, Laurie said call ahead, let them know you're coming. I called ahead and let them know I'm coming. But when my poor father walked in
Really helped.
he's an older man and he was covered in blood. So we left her there. I went home. I made him go in the shower, and I got myself together. I waited for her real owner to come home, my daughter,
Yeah.
and we went back to the hospital at 2:00 in the morning to go get her.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Carole Ann.
So
Imagine everyone's going to be like, what you want to do is get fake blood. You want to cover every family member in it, and they'll take you right in the back.
yeah, and they
You
did.
don't have to wait.
Yeah, it was bad. I never thought so much blood could come out of a paw.
Paws and ears are
Yeah.
the bloodiest
Yeah.
things ever.
If there's ever blood and you can't tell where it's coming from, check the ears, because I have never seen so much blood come out of a little teeny tiny prick on an ear. For some reason, there must
I
just
don't
be a
wanna
lot
see
of
it.
blood vessels in there.
And then they shake their head.
Yeah.
And then
Goes
it's
everywhere.
Yeah.
Crime scene.
Yeah.
Okay, so Maple has gone through a lot this year.
Yes.
Living her best life with you, which I know that she is, despite having a few accidents here and there. What's going on with her food and her feeding? Because you've made some big changes in the past year because of her food intolerances. So can you back up to kind of what she had been eating prior and then kind of bring us through what she's eating now?
Right. So when she was a puppy, probably for the first 6 months, she ate kibble. And, I tried to get whatever the best kibble there was. And then she would always get like red on her belly. She was always scratching her ears. The girl at the pet store's like, maybe it's the chicken, that one. Let's try something different. So we went from the kibble to the freeze dry. And, that wasn't so bad. She kind of ate that and, she tolerated it. But then again, like she'd be scratching her ears and, like rolling all over the place and stuff. So you knew she was itchy.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to a holistic dog store and I talked to a lady that was a nutritionist there. And she said to me, she goes, well, did you ever think about doing raw? And I went, no. I said, but if I give her raw, will she ever be able to eat like cooked food? I was thinking in my head, if she's eating raw, she can't have like mixed food. She goes, no. If you give her raw and you need to give her some chicken or whatever, you can feed her that. So from then, so she was a little over 1. From 1 till about, I would probably say 2, she ate raw dog food. I would go every 2 weeks. I would pick up my box of raw dog food and she, and she got a half in the morning and half at night, and that was her meal. And the redness started to go away. No more really itching. And she did great on it. Her, her bowel movements were great. It was great. And so then I think I saw a picture of Leah making dog food. You had a big bowl, and I saw it, and I inboxed her. I said, Leah, are you making food? And you went, yep, I am. I went, is that raw? And you went, yes, it is. I went, oh, I need to learn how to do that. Because I in my house, I cook a lot. And so if I'm going to be cooking for everybody else, why can't I cook for my dog and know what she's eating? Plus, what I was paying for the raw from the dog store was like $180 every 2 weeks for dog food. I mean, some people, that's a lot of money, and other people it's not, but it's like, okay, but it's still $180 for dog food.
Yeah, that's close to,
That's every 2 weeks. So
$360 a month.
Yeah. So I said, I think I might be able to do this. So I talked to Leah, and you told me to get a book. I don't remember what the name of the book is, though.
I think the Forever Dog Life book is it's a pretty good place to start.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got that book and I read it and stuff. And for me, I read it and I was like, okay. I said, but you know what? I want to watch somebody make it. If I watch you make it, I can instantly remember that. Mm-hmm. And so I asked Leah, and one day whenever you were doing it, can I come over? And you had me come over, and I watched you step by step to make it. You wrote things down for me. You had me all set up. I learned, you gave me the equation of how much she should have, what she should have in her food. And I started doing that. And it was the best thing I ever did. I absolutely love it. I don't mind it at all. I have my little routine. I know what she has to have. I'm still learning. And I'll text Leah and I'll say, Leah, can she have this? Or what do you think if I put, remember I asked you about the couscous? No, quinoa. Mm-hmm. Can I put the quinoa in there? And so I'm learning, but she loves it. She doesn't even want to eat
Yeah, now she's gotten picky, right?
She's gotten picky. So my neighbor tried to give her a little kibble. They were all playing. And she just walked away from it. She'd have nothing to do with that. Okay, yeah, because she's eating bison. She's eating ground pork. She's eating chicken necks. She's eating, she's really picky with the fish, but she loves salmon. She's eating salmon and I put sunflower seeds or I put pumpkin seeds and, learned to grind them up.
Yeah, because they come out whole.
They come out whole. So
I said to Leah, I go, what the hell? That's like blueberries in there. I can like name. I mean, you never want to eat it again. Like, you won't see me with a bag of sunflower seeds anymore. I was like, what? Do they even chew it though?
Yeah. And I just said to Leah, I said, Leah, I have a problem. I'm finding that the blueberries and my seeds are all whole. So I ground them up so they're it came almost like a powder.
Yeah.
Blueberries, for some reason, all of a sudden she doesn't like blueberries. So she literally would eat around the blueberries. And I'm like, come on, Maple. Right. It's blueberries. You love them. Nope. She's not having them right now.
So you pretty much feed every protein.
I do.
But there are some that...
She will not eat fish. Like she'll eat the sardines in the can. She won't eat the oysters. She won't eat the mussels. She won't eat the fresh anchovies that I got that I boiled. I gave those to Leah. So there's a couple things. The only thing I haven't tried, which I'm going to try, is pork because I was a little nervous about it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try.
Honestly, I was nervous about it too. And I asked Kay about it, who is the person that I contact with questions at the feed reel. And she put my mind at ease about that. And trichinosis is the big concern with pork, right? You hear people, or we see these images sometimes on social media of a person that is like covered in worms on the inside because they're eating raw something or other, and you get really scared, right? Yep. And the food grade pork that we would buy at the grocery store is perfectly safe to feed, according to Kay, and I've been feeding him. My dogs do really well eating. I never feed them only pork. Right. I always mix it with other protein. But I think there is a concern for wild game. Right. Like I wouldn't feed my dog wild boar, for example. And we don't have them around here, but in certain places in the country, like in the South, boar hunting is like huge. And I wouldn't feed them boar. And even venison. I know that a lot of people feed raw venison, but when I have fed it, like I cook it at a low temperature in the oven, just because like you don't know how old the deer was, and when it got killed and what it has going on. Yeah. But my mind was put to ease about that. But I'm like, I think it's awesome that you've been doing this because she obviously likes it better. It's cheaper than buying the commercial. Yeah. And a lot of and another thing I wanted to touch on was the chicken issue, because you said, oh, she's allergic to chicken. And I said, I would try it again because I've had a few people now that have switched to whole food feeding, and they were convinced that the kibble with chicken was causing an allergy in their dog. And once they started feeding actual chicken, raw or cooked, they didn't see the same results. Right. So I said, just try to introduce it again. And she's fine with it, right?
Absolutely fine. She gets her raw her raw mixture in the morning and at night. And what I do for her is because I'm kind of funny with the chicken, I boil the chicken. I do, she gets like just a couple pieces of shredded chicken on top, maybe a little of the chicken broth that I've cooked it in. And she absolutely loves it. There's no rash. There's no breakout. Her ears are not red. Her belly's not red. There's nothing. So I think the chicken kibble that she was having with the process of it and the byproducts and whatever else they're feeding the chickens, that's what she was allergic to. Because, they put GMOs and stuff in chickens to make them plump. So, all of that together, I think, because she's a little sensitive, I think that's what caused it. But now it doesn't faze her at all. Nothing.
Yeah. And have you been feeding the next two?
Oh, yes. Yeah. She actually, this batch of dog food that I made, I think she likes it the most.
Now, do you grind the chicken necks?
Yes.
Oh, we had a party.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
These are the kind of parties Leah has.
Yes.
And when she's like, I'm going to Carole's, I'm like, you have a good time.
Yep. We had a 40-pound, was it 40 pounds?
Yeah.
40 pounds of chicken neck party. We both had our bone grinders out.
My God.
One on each side. Did we even take a picture?
No.
Oh.
We had 2 giant trays and we just kept grinding up those necks and stuff.
Well, because Leah was gave it to Ruben whole, and one time he threw up, and I said, Leah, I got vertebrae here. Can we, you think we could do something about this? I don't think he's processing it well. So finally she's like, I just got the meat grinder 2000.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Okay. And then I felt better because I was like, he's puking it up, not Raven, him.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I was worried that, I mean, it's got to hurt coming back up. So grind your chicken necks.
Yes,
people.
grind them. All your chicken wings. I do those too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wings are great. Well, the thing is about the necks are they're 40 to 50% bone, and then the rest is meat, right? So when I buy 40 pounds, it's $1 a pound.
Right.
So when I make a 20-pound recipe, 5 pounds of that recipe is $1 a pound.
Yeah.
And then my organ meat is around the same. And so the majority of the cost is the muscle meat. That's the part that's costly.
Yeah.
And if you can manage to pick those lower cost ingredients and buy them in bulk. And I mean, I got the 40-pound box, and then Carole has an extra fridge at her house. So I drove to her house, defrosted it in her fridge, because if you defrost that much at a time, if you do it outside the fridge, the outside has gone bad before the inside has even started to defrost. So I just waited a week. They were in Carole's fridge, and then I said, hey, are you free? Yeah, okay, I'm coming up. Get your grinder ready. And so we ground them all up and then packaged them in 5-pound bags. So I can make 20 pounds at a time, and that is cost effective.
Absolutely.
You know, getting the cost down to like $2 a pound is awesome if you can manage to make raw food at that price.
Right.
Because when you buy it from the pet store, it's $7-8 a pound. So it's not affordable.
Right. It's
I'm
very
sorry,
expensive.
it's not. And that's something that I run into as well when I'm trying to help somebody, especially if their dog is sick, because I know, okay, well, the best thing to do would be really to get them eating all home cooked food, whether it's raw or whether it's cooked.
Right.
It's better than what you buy at the store, 100%. And there are a lot of different reasons why. And some companies do a great job. Other companies do a not so great job. But regardless of whether or not the company puts out a high quality product or not, it's expensive. It's really expensive to buy the pre-made raw or cooked food. And for a lot of people, it's just not accessible.
Yeah.
But another thing that I'm running up against in consults is that I think some people, when they do a nutrition consult, are expecting me to say, okay, here's this probiotic that you should add to the food. Here's this powder that will help. And my recommendations are always like, open up your cupboards, get cooking, make it yourself. And some people just can't do that.
Well, I think with myself was, even though I had recipes in front of me, I didn't actually see it done.
Right.
So I think when I came and we did that one-on-one, I think you can, once you visualize it and see it, it makes it so much easier to do. It doesn't make it as hard as, as you're thinking, oh, I have to do this. What do you mean I need yeast? What do you need? And then you tweak things. My dog doesn't like parsley. Okay, I'm not putting parsley in there. There's certain things. But once I saw it done, because I do cook, I was like, oh, I can do this. This is really not that hard. It's just making sure I have the things that I need, to balance it. All the other little things. And I just ordered them on Amazon, or went to the Market Basket and got certain things that she needs in there to give her a full balanced diet.
Right. And the other thing is, when you're preparing home cooked food or raw food, especially if your dog's coming off a sickness, for example, like when Maple had the bout of diarrhea, it's like, okay, Carole, here's a bland diet. It's not a balanced meal.
No. That's
fine. Your dog is sick. Who cares?
Right.
At the end of the day, the priority is their health. So I mean, we were just talking about the other day, but Molly and Sam were on, and she fed her dog a bland diet for like a month.
Right.
Until he started to feel better, and then started to introduce new foods again. And your dog is going to be fine. It doesn't always have to have all of these. Think about if we're sick, we're not eating a lot of food, first of all.
Right.
And second of all, it's all like chicken soup. I mean, how many vitamins and minerals are in chicken soup? Nothing. It's just there for some sustenance to get your system back to baseline. And so I think people that are dealing with dogs that have been chronically sick, chronically allergic to something, their immune system has just been chronically fired up and inflamed and stressed for so long. The number one priority should not be, is this meal complete and balanced? It's like, who cares? We'll get there eventually. And then I know we had the conversation last week about switching the organ meats.
Yes.
Making sure we're rotating those, making sure we're rotating the proteins as a way to get that complete imbalance. Because on the Feed Real Institute website, they have a calculator there are a couple of different types of raw feeding, and some types of raw feeding are only like animal products, and instead of using fiber from vegetables, you use fur and feathers. So you'd feed dogs, fur and feathers.
I might have to draw the line that way.
And most people don't, and a lot of dogs won't eat it.
Right.
I mean, I don't think my dogs would eat it. And if you're not feeding fur and feathers, well, that's when we're going to feed blueberries and kale and broccoli and vegetables, to give them. And we're also going to supplement with iodine because broccoli and vegetables don't have that. So we have to have our kelp for iodine in order to fortify the food. But the surprising thing is when people see that Feed Real calculator, it's very simple. There aren't a lot of potions and powders that you have to add to the food. It's all about rotating your protein to fill in those gaps.
Right.
So you're not going to want to feed chicken all the time. You have to start adding beef and adding duck and adding pork and venison, different, whatever you can get. Molly was a good example of that. She goes to the butcher and she's like, what do you got? And they give it to her and that's what she feeds. And that way we can achieve those quote unquote complete and balanced meals over the long run.
Right.
And I think one of the limitations of the Forever Dog Life book is that they made each one of those recipes like to AFCO standard. So you're looking at some of those recipes and you're like, this is way too complicated. I mean, some of them are just ridiculous.
Right.
But understanding that, okay, they published a book.
Right.
So that anybody could pick it up and make any of those recipes and they would be like quote unquote complete and balanced. Right. But if you have the wherewithal and like, okay, I have to rotate the protein. This is how much, bone, organ, muscle meat I need to feed. This is, I have to add the iodine. I have to add the manganese. I have to make sure that they're getting enough zinc and vitamin D and vitamin E and all that stuff. And I can get that through whole foods. You don't have to have a really involved recipe every time you make a meal. And that's empowering for a person like you. But for a person that's really detail oriented or worried about every little thing, it's really challenging.
Yeah.
And I understand that. But at the same time, I know that I'm in it for the long haul. I want to continue feeding my dogs in this way for a long time. And I know I have the tools and resources to do that because I have the knowledge to do it. But it makes a lot of people really nervous, I think. And everybody just wants like a magic pill. Right. Like, what's a probiotic I can add to make my dog stop crapping its brains out? And it's like, well, it doesn't work that way.
Right. I have found since she's been on raw and since I've been making it, she has no digestive problems.
Yeah.
If I notice that she's struggling a little bit to go to the bathroom, then maybe I'll just put a little bit more pumpkin on the next 2 days. I'll just add it in. She already has pumpkin in there, but maybe she needs a little bit more. I think the important thing is you need to know your dog. And by knowing your dog, you can see these little signs that, oh, she's struggling. Oh, this is, why is this white? Like, did I put too much bone in there? Like, unfortunately, yes, I do check the poops and I do that. Will I pick it up, throw it away? I have to, But you have to know your dog. And by knowing your dog, I think that's what makes it important of when you're feeding them, when you start out raw, and if you're nervous, you have to have that balance.
Well, and that's a really good point because if we look up what is the bone content for a chicken wing, it's a range. It's not 25%.
Right.
It's 25 to 35%. And you might get a package of chicken wings that are really bony and don't have as much muscle, or you might get the opposite.
Right.
And to your point, the only way you know is by checking.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had that happen to me too. Like my dogs will be struggling out there and I'm just like, I got to add a little bit of fiber here to kind of help them out a little bit.
Yep.
I think that's my biggest issue with my dogs is sometimes they struggle. And then when they do go to the bathroom, it's just like, okay, they definitely need a little bit more veggie in there. Yeah. And it's just because we don't know exactly when we're using whole foods. It's not like we can measure.
Right.
You know, I have the bone powder. Did I give you the Better Bones?
Yeah, I have powder? The bone powder. Yes.
Like that's easy, right?
Yeah,
because it's like you just scoop it and you know exactly how much is in there. But when you're working with whole foods, you don't.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to observe and see and make adjustments. But pumpkin is great.
Yeah. Pumpkin
and blueberries are great for that type of thing. And squash too. I've done butternut squash. And that's another thing. So cheap.
Yeah.
In the fall, just boil up some butternut squash. And they love it.
Simple. Yep.
Yeah, they absolutely love it. It's really good. Buddha likes it too.
Yeah, he's funny with the things that he likes. He loves potatoes.
Yes.
He loves sweet potatoes. Yep. Ever since he was a baby.
Yeah. Maple likes sweet potatoes too.
Yeah, they're very good.
I've been like adding some stuff since his GI situation he had a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I was like even afraid to add that. And he's on that it's an Italian dog food, Forza. So Forza. If you get it in the Chewy sells it, which is convenient, and then your little shops around sell it too. And I'm like nervous now, that's going to happen to him again, just because we love our dogs. We don't want them to be in pain. That was such an episode. So I like slipped him the sweet potato. I'm like, oh, he did okay. I gave him some cooked chicken. I go, okay, he did okay with that too. Trying to see if he can get back to, I'm not going to put him back on that other Anukshuk, which he did so well on for so long. I'm not going to put him back on it. Yeah. The cooked food is way more acceptable in my mind than raw food. Right. Like when Leah said, I'll make him cooked food, I said, that's fine with me. Yep. I can't do the raw thing. I think it's all about the person.
Yeah.
Like you, no problem. You'll do the raw. Me, I would do the cooked if I had to. And just like you, I'm a learner by seeing and doing. I would, if it was me and I was paying a dog nutritionist, I'll be like, you come into my house.
Yep.
I'll pay for that. We're going to make some recipes.
Yep.
And I would have to write them all down and just have them. That's the kind of person I am. Yeah. I need everything listed. I'd have my little dog cookbook.
Yep.
Yeah. That's when you said that, I was like, oh, this is like a learning curve. This is how Carole learns. Maybe that would be, you find out who your people are. All right. What are you willing to do?
Right.
What are you willing to go to?
Yeah.
For me, I'm just less risk averse. So I was like, I'm doing it.
Yeah. And that's why when I saw it.
But I'm sure I made mistakes, and I swore to myself, I'm not going to get a meat grinder. That's not going to be me. And then I borrowed one from a friend, and I was like, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
And this is definitely going to save me money in the long run as well, because and for the grinder to grind poultry bones, pretty much the grinders that you can buy for your house, you can't grind anything harder than that.
Right.
And I called the company where we bought our grinder from and said, hey, can I put a turkey neck in here? And she was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful as well. So she gave me a list of things that it can process and a list of things that it can't. And I don't feed my dogs chicken bones as their primary source of calcium and phosphorus all the time. Like every third time I make a recipe, I use the Better Bones because the Better Bones are beef. So I give them a little break from the poultry for one round of feeding. I do the same thing with eggs.
Right.
So eggs are such a powerful food that I don't want them to become intolerant.
Right.
So every third time I make a batch of raw food, I don't use eggs.
Right.
And maybe I'll add a little bit of vitamin D and vitamin E supplement, because eggs are they're really rich food.
Right.
And then like the perfect ratio of fat and protein. But I don't want my dogs to become intolerant and then I can't feed them anymore.
Right.
Because that's what happens with a lot of people who make the switch from kibble to raw. They find something that works really well and then they stick to it like glue, and then the dog becomes intolerant to chicken or whatever they were feeding. So you got to be really careful of that type of thing.
Yeah.
And open-minded and willing to say, all right, I'm going to try something new this week.
Right.
Get a whole pork tenderloin and grind it up.
That's my next one, because I haven't done that yet, but I am going to do that. And I remember back when I was buying it, it would be pork and bison. So then I'm thinking, well, if I fed a pork and bison back then, why can't I ground up a pork loin or something like that?
It'll probably be better quality.
I didn't even think of that,
Yeah.
you know. So we talked. So her new one, her next ones that I make, I'm going to do it with the pork for her.
So you bought pork commercial raw and you felt fine feeding it.
I didn't even think twice about it.
But when it came down for you to feed it, you
Yep.
had apprehension.
I did, yeah. And I'm like, wait, oh no, I can't give her that. Oh, what happens if it has like little parasites and stuff? And then I'm like, wait, but I buy pork loin and eat it. Like, wait a minute, you know? And then I'm like, can she eat pork? Not even realizing back when I was buying it, she, you know, her mixture was pork and bison, or you know, beef and bison. So I'm like, well, yeah, she used to eat it frozen from there. You know, why can't she have it? Why can't I make it?
I think it's just because like it was in a store and they know how to process it, and of course nothing's wrong with it.
Right.
Oh my
That's what I'm
God.
thinking in my head.
I am so glad that you just mentioned that, Laurie, because that is true. People think, oh, well, because it got made in a factory somewhere, it must be better than what I can do in my own kitchen. And in what world is that true?
It is not true.
It's
And if I
totally
wanna-
untrue.
If I want to buy organic for her, I'm buying organic for her, and I'm believing that it's organic, you know.
Yep.
And I'm making it, so I see everything that's going in there, and I feel great about it.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
And it's funny because this is the same example, but in a different context. So when I was working in restaurants, they started taking temperature on pork. And, you know, when you go up to a table and, okay, I want the pork, how would you like it prepared? And I remember the wait staff were like, you have to cook pork thoroughly because whatever, it's 165. And I remember the chef coming out and saying, times have changed. It's safe to eat pork if it's not cooked to temperature because blah, blah, blah. This was probably 10, 15 years ago. So I've known this for that long. But when it came time for me to feed it to my dogs, I'm asking,
Yeah.
you know, the feed reel, like, is it okay to feed raw pork to dogs? And I've known it because we started taking temperature on pork.
Wow.
You know, I mean, and when I would ask customers, nobody ever wanted it, you know, undercooked because it's just culturally, I think people want their pork cooked like chicken.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to me to make that connection because the chefs know that you can eat pork if it's cooked lower than 165.
Right.
I don't prefer it that way, but...
Yeah,
and you have to be careful with pork too, Carole, because if you get like a pork butt or a shoulder, it's really heavy in the fat. So when I make a recipe, and the tenderloin is the opposite.
Right.
The tenderloin is like too lean.
Okay.
So when I make a recipe, I mix them together.
Okay.
Like I'll get a pork shoulder and a tenderloin.
Okay.
And then that evens out the fat to protein ratio because one doesn't have enough fat.
Right.
It's
Very
like,
lean.
yeah, it's like just using chicken breast. Not the best idea because it's so lean.
Yeah.
Or, you know, but like a pork butt is like, I mean, so much fat in that thing. Have you ever cooked one of those down?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
have. There's
God.
no meat to it at all.
Yeah, it's all fat, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine for the dogs to eat, the raw fat without being rendered. But yeah, I like to even it out. I do the same with chicken, so I'll do breast and the dark meat.
Yeah. And I found it interesting last week when we talked, when you were at the house, we were talking about, remember I said I've been putting the beef liver and the chicken liver. I mean, the beef liver and the calf liver. And you told me that I needed to switch that off because, you know, all the time having that same, is it the organ? Is that the organ?
Yeah, so liver has a little bit too much vitamin A.
Yep.
So if you feed that over the long run, you may see problems. So you should be using another secreting organ mixed with the liver, like kidney, spleen, pancreas, and doing it that way to just break it up a little bit.
Right.
Because I'll make a chicken recipe and just use chicken liver as my secreting organ.
Right.
But then the next time I make a recipe, I'll make sure that I use something different.
Right.
Just because, yeah, the liver, it's the biggest secreting organ in an animal. So a lot of the models for raw feeding are going to use more liver because, like, let's say a dog or a wolf, for example, takes down an elk, right? The biggest secreting organ is their liver. So they're going to get most of the, you know, vitamins and minerals from that. But other organs do exist. So we want to supplement with that just so we're not always feeding the liver.
Yep.
But yeah, and as far as like, it's funny because like the vitamins and minerals go, like people are obsessed with that. Like, okay, well, what do I have to add for basically looking to add the multivitamin? It's like your organs are your multivitamin. That's where all of the vitamins and minerals are. So if we're feeding the organs in the correct ratios,
Right.
and if you're switching them, you should be cool unless your dog has an imbalance.
Right.
And another thing that I learned that I think is really important to know, if your dog is on medication long term, you should look up and see how that medication affects them, because, and when I was reading through the course material, it was like very involved, but long-term medication use will cause deficiencies or can cause deficiencies. So if your dog is on medication, you should do a little bit of research and maybe pull a hair sample test and just make sure that they're healthy after a year or two of being on medication. Because as dogs get older, maybe they need, a UTI medication and take it all the time. If your dog is always taking gabapentin because they're hurt all the time, that type of thing is not good.
Right.
And it can affect how they metabolize food and how they metabolize those vitamins and minerals. So I don't think people think about that either. I sure as heck never did.
Right. Yeah. You just mentioned like people worrying about the vitamin deficiency and stuff like this. I'm not knocking kibble because that's what's out there. But sometimes when you grab some of those kibble bags, you look at the ingredients and there's 82 things in that ingredients. And it's like, well, what is half this stuff? You don't even know what they are. Like, is it a vitamin? Is it a filler? You just don't know. I mean, unless you look up each word, look up in the dictionary what it is and stuff. So by just even experimenting and trying to go raw, you're not really going to lose anything for your dog, I believe, because nutrition-wise, you're trying to help them. So you went from this list of 84 things to a list of 12 things. And most of it's whole food and a couple vitamin things that you add in there to help them. So how bad could that be?
It makes a lot of sense what you're saying. Yeah. And unfortunately, we've just been pre-programmed to think that because they're scientists and because the nutritionists at the pet food manufacturing companies know what they're doing more than we do, they know what's best. It's fine and it's good. And I'm with you, Carole. Like, I don't ever knock kibble because it is a privilege for me to feed my dogs in this way. Right. It's a privilege for you to feed your dogs in this way.
Yes.
If Carole Ann had Maple on her own,
she would not be able to do that.
No, it just would not be feasible.
Right.
And even today, I mean, since COVID, dog food, the price of just regular dog food has gone up significantly. Yeah. So I don't knock kibble. I feed my dog. Raven eats some kibble. Right. I think that it's very useful and easy, and it's allowed for a lot more. Imagine if everybody had to feed their dogs like we do. Right. Nobody would own a dog.
Right. Because you have to put the work in.
You have to put the work in for it. But for some dogs that have like the allergies like she was having, there's no other way.
Right.
I mean, with our little guy, he wanted to put him on Apoquel, right?
Yeah. And they even wanted me to put Buddha on Apoquel as well.
Yeah. And that's a drug that he would have to take forever and ever for his skin condition. And that when I say it completely went away, I was looking at him this morning and it's gone.
Yeah, it is crazy. He did have a rash right in his, right in the flank area. And it was bad. And the medical shampoo wasn't helping. And, I can admit that. Once he started eating raw, that rash did go away. Right. And that dog could eat a trash can and be fine.
His digestion is fine,
right? But
his appetite is fine. I mean, he would eat cardboard. Right. He's got good food drive. He loves food, but long term, he was not doing that well. Right. And for Maple with the allergies, there is no other way.
Right.
You have to change the diet. If you want to give the medication and keep on the kibble, you can do that. Right. And if that's affordable for you and you feel good about that, more power to you. Yeah. But I've seen the results, and I can't argue with them. Right. They're there. I think if your dog's healthy and they're doing really great on kibble, go for it. Right. I think it's great. But at the same time, I know now that there is a better way, especially if your dog is dealing with those chronic itis conditions, to at least try if you have the means. Yeah. And at the end of the day, okay, I'm going to spend money on food or I'm going to spend money on Apoquel.
Right.
Which isn't
And
cheap.
And vet visits are not cheap either. So
No, if your dog has chronic ear infections and they're going in there once a month and you're paying $100 just to walk in the door, I mean, you could try feeding a little bit more whole foods.
right,
And you don't have to go all in,
right,
but just supplementing a little bit here and there, it does go a long way.
yeah.
So, but I think you're doing such a great job with her.
Thank
I
you.
think it's incredible.
Thank you.
I can't even believe it.
I have good teachers. That's why.
Yeah, but I can't believe we were up there like grinding the meat, and I just looked over at Carole and I was like, I can't believe that we're doing this right now. It's so funny.
We were huge box, but we did it.
I know.
We did it.
And it'll take me a while to go through all that, so I won't
Yeah.
have to do it again for a while.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Laurie.
I know. I always make sure that I'm gone. And then when Leah leaves the room, I just like pour bleach everywhere. And
Yeah, we bleached everything down and stuff. But it wasn't really messy. We had a little system and it was going great.
Yeah.
The Maple was just laying there watching us.
he's like, "That's right, bitches." No,
She was chewing a marrow bone.
Yeah, I gave her a bone
Yeah.
to keep her busy because if not, she wanted to be right in the middle of us.
I'm sure.
Can you just take a picture of her and just make a home menu as if she's at a restaurant?
Yeah.
Please do that.
I always send
I
Leah
would love
pictures of our food that I make.
I would love that. Just send me just as if she's in a restaurant. I'd love that.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
This is like very similar to like once you start tracking macros
Yeah.
for yourself.
Yeah.
And everything, like you may be eating healthy, but now it's ground turkey. It's rice. You're cooking that. You have to meal prep. You have to meal prep your salads. Like it's daunting.
Yeah.
It's daunting.
But it's it's an hour of my time.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally, I have my containers. They all go out. Everything gets weighed. It goes into the freezer. And it's like, okay, I know that. Oh, I count that. Oh, I got 2.5 weeks worth of food. I know exactly what I have. And it took me an hour.
So you were spending $180 every 2 weeks, you said?
I was spending $180. I
And
don't
now?
spend that now. Oh, no, I might spend $180 the whole month. If that.
That's nice.
I mean, because
I know you worked out the math because I know how you are.
Yeah. No, I don't even think I spend that. I probably spend maybe $150, maybe.
That's nice. And you get your meats from?
It depends on where I'm at. I might get some at Market Basket. I might get some at Costco. I might get it at the Big Y. It depends.
All right.
Like if I saw, like I say, like, oh, this ground beef is on sale. I'm going to pick this up here.
Yeah.
Eggs, she does. I don't really give her organic eggs because they are very expensive. I eat them, but she doesn't. But she doesn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and then I bought the kelp. I bought the yeast, and I just bought big bags of them.
Yeah.
And I've bought them since we started, and I still have them.
Yeah.
I use a little bit, and so for me it is much more cost effective.
Yeah, for me, absolutely. But I still feed the raw organics.
Right.
Yeah, I still do that. But even with Ruben, when I feed him the mixtures that are fortified, so they add probiotics and different vitamins and minerals and like krill oil and stuff like that. He doesn't do as well. I see him like licking himself quite a bit.
Yeah.
So he's just like, he's a real food guy. Have to feed him pretty much all whole foods. It's a great product. So you do even more than I do.
Right.
As far as preparing the food yourself, because I'm still feeding a little bit of it is commercial raw, but it's really good stuff. If you have a Organics co-op near you should definitely check it out. But I supplement with that because I feed a lot. Like Raven eats, depending on the recipe, I tried to cut her down from 2 pounds and she just lost weight. So I'm like, ugh, I have to feed her 2 pounds a day.
Right.
And Ruben eats 1 pound a day. So that's 3 pounds of raw food a day for my dog. So it's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And I've been a little bit better about giving her more kibble meals because she does fine. She does fine on the kibble meals. It doesn't affect her negatively at all. It's less expensive. And so I have been feeding her 4 or 5 meals a week kibble for cost.
Right.
To keep it reasonable because it's insane. Even I do a really good job sourcing different things. And, Restaurant Depot is amazing. I don't know if you have a membership.
I do.
It's I mean,
I haven't even been. I never even thought to go there.
I bought a big bag of.
Gonna go now.
No, I bought my big bag of sunflower seeds from there.
Oh yeah.
Raw, not roasted or salted. So cheap.
Yeah.
like so cheap. And like the fish, you buy a big bag of the frozen fish and it's a fraction of the cost. And I love it. I mean, it's a pain to go there because it's going into a warehouse type situation. And you have to have the freezer space, obviously.
Right.
But it's definitely, I mean, you can buy like a big container of chicken liver. It's $1 a pound. It's like 99 cents a pound. I mean,
yeah, you can't beat that.
You can't beat it. You can't beat it. And a lot of the things that we feed our dogs are things that butchers throw away. So if you want bones for your dogs to chew on, go to your butcher. Like even the butcher at Market Basket. Like our Market Basket doesn't have a butcher, but if yours does, just ask them. Like they'll give it to you.
Yep.
And there you go. If you feed them a bone in the morning, they get their calcium for the day. Like maybe you don't even need to feed it at night. You know, you can feed them kibble or a mixture that doesn't have the bone if they get enough in the morning. It's like you can piece things together and make it affordable, but it does take effort.
Right.
And for me, like I enjoy, like I cook for us, we'll make a roasted chicken. We're always cooking. My mother-in-law is always cooking. Like we eat a lot of homemade food.
Right.
So like culturally it fits. And it's been interesting for me to do consults with people because a lot of people are very willing to cook for their dogs and they'll openly admit, like, I don't cook for myself.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if this is going to work. And then 8 times out of 10, it works out great. Like they're completely happy cooking for their dogs and going to Chipotle for themselves at night.
Right.
I'm like, all right, well,
yeah,
that works.
Yeah. It's got to fit into your schedule and how you're going to do it.
And to your point too, it takes me an hour.
Right.
To prepare 2.5 weeks worth of food. Yeah. And what is an hour?
Yeah. It's nothing. It's 2 loads of laundry.
Yeah. All right, Carole. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing. I know somebody out there is going to find this helpful. And this week you got a 2-for-1, people. We run on absolutely no schedule here at FitPet Boston Talks. It's all about when we have the time and when people have the time to come up. So you're getting a deal. 2 podcast episodes in 1 week after no podcast episodes for a month. But what are you going to do?
But we said for August. August is a busy month, I feel like, for all dog people.
Yeah.
Everyone's going. When other people are not working, dog people are working.
That's correct. That is very correct.
Yep.
Well,
all right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Carole, for coming.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Carole.
I'll be back again. We'll have another episode of something.
I hope
just
no
not
accidents.
vets and sickness, please. Let it be something else.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe, just to come on and talk. That would be great.
Oh my God,
no problems.
What if we had a Leah and Carole cooking channel on YouTube? Shut up. For dogs? Yes. People would subscribe.
Yeah,
girls,
possibly.
ladies, women.
They probably would.
Let us gather.
Yes.
Come on.
With our aprons.
Yeah, and gloves.
And gloves.
And grinders.
Yep. And bleach.
Oh my God, I'll stand in the back with bleach.
Yeah.
And like a hazmat.
Yep. Oh, yep.
Oh my God. Anyway, well, thank you so much for listening.
Yep.
Again, feel free to like, subscribe, and share the podcast with your friends. And you'll hear from us next time.
Thank you.